Piping Redbeard. Yeah. Well, it's a glorious Monday morning, folks. I've caught a little bit of the cold my toddlers have, but thankfully it's not like the like wake up, feel just awful at your core and you don't want to move kind of cold. It's just a little scratchy in the throat, and so nose all kind of stopped up a little bit. Now that may turn into that, but so far so good. Savinelli 673 unfinished. What I got from the Pipe Nook a while back. Remember, a year now, I think. Probably my favorite smoking pipe I have, bar none. Prince Albert in the bowl this morning. I actually been reaching for Prince Albert more than anything here lately. I like that burley kind of blend, and I like how it burns and low maintenance. You don't have to worry about it. So when I'm actively working through the day, it's not like one of those where I got to be really conscious of my cadence. The one thing I wanted to, this is going to be a little shorter because really just one thing I thought in particular for this audience is the value of a good handshake. And what spurred this on is my father-in-law hosted a fundraiser for Mike Braun in Indiana, who's running for Senate. And my teenage boy really wanted to go just meet him. To be honest, I didn't really care to. I haven't had time to even look what the dude stands for. But I thought, okay, well, I'll run up there with my boy and, at least meet him. So there's two things. It's been a while since I went to a fundraising event for a politician. So there's he shook my hand like some kid glove. I don't know, it was real mushy. I hate that. Hate it. It's like, ugh. To me, I got really big hands. I mean, it's very intimidating to people, and I get that. And I had some carpal tunnel issues for a few years. Got it fixed, and then, when it was fixed, I didn't realize how much harder I was gripping things, especially when it came to handshakes. So there for a minute, I was borderline hurting people when I shook their hand. It's just because I didn't understand, I was getting used to my, all the nerves being fixed again. So I don't do that anymore, but I really grip your hand. If you shake my hand, I'm gonna really grip it. I'm not gonna like squeeze it, no, but firm. The definition of firm. And I grew up, my dad and my grandpa, both my grandpa, all said the same thing. Your handshake is extremely important for you as a man. That's how I grew up. So whenever I've gone and met new people, or I go to even buy things, right? So if you go to buy a car or a real estate agent or something like that, and I shake their hand, if they're mushy or if it's it doesn't really matter who it is, to be honest. If it's mushy, that first impression for me is bad. So, and there's a lot of old school dudes out there like it, that follow that same logic. So, for you guys out there, understand that a firm handshake is important. And let's leave aside like old traditions, but what does that tell people? Let's just talk about other men. When you shake hands with another man, what are you saying when it's very limp or it's very weak, or and there's some other conditions, right, that could cause this, but I'm just saying, what are you saying when you do that? There's a lot you are. I mean, you're communicating through that handshake weakness, kind of like you're a fear, dishonest. There's like a lot of things you can infer from a handshake. Now, I know there's a few of my peers who were never taught that, because this is, I think there's a kind of a culture difference between certain parts of the country, but at the same token, I guess I'd say any person who's trying to be a gentleman, that actually is part of being a gentleman, is knowing how to introduce yourself to other men, and a handshake is part of that. So, anyway, that's all I want to tell you guys. Just a heads up, and a really, if you're not aware, your handshake is important to a lot of people, especially a lot of men. For women, handshake, that's, the world's a different place in 1954. So, we do business with men and women all the time, and shaking hands, you do shake hands with a woman. I guess how to say that. There was, I think, a different opinion about that ages ago, decades ago. For what I read, I didn't experience, obviously, but nowadays, I mean, women are in the workforce a lot. They have higher positions now. We're not so stuck on the traditional woman can't be a business owner, can't be whatever. I mean, that's not really the case anymore. I'm not going into gender, female stuff or whatever. I'm just saying in general, as a course of me doing business, I run into a lot of females who are managers, who are executives, that kind of thing. And you got to shake their hand. Now, I'll be honest, I do not shake their hand the same as I do a man. I don't. And I'm not saying it's for any other reason other than typically a woman's hand is smaller, and there's not as much girth to their hand. I don't want to apply like a good amount of pressure, because I don't want to hurt anybody, I guess is what I'm saying. So, not that that's what I guess I'm going to this, is like, you got to be firm, but don't hurt people. And for me, sometimes there's a line there, and I don't mean to, but there's a lot of times I get close to that line where it's like I get after I shake somebody's hand, they kind of like they like watch my hand go back. And I mean, that's funny, but at the same token, that's not what I'm intending to do. Just for me, so when I'm shaking a woman's hand, it's firm. Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna do that, but I don't apply as much pressure. I guess I'll just leave it at that. Not for any other reason, I just don't want to hurt anybody because of the size of my hands and the force that my grip has. I don't want to do that. So anyway, I would recommend, if you're a guy, start shaking people's hands with intention. Don't try to break anybody's bones or anything, but be firm with it. You will, you know, a lot of us kind of old school folks, you look at that pretty important. So, and women, man, grab it. If you do the handshake, be firm with that. Don't. Same thing for you. Don't let the fact that you're a female interfere with your handshake. Be a, you know, grab a guy's hand, be firm with it. Nothing wrong with that. I was thinking all about that because of the Mike Braun thing at the fundraiser, and I'll tell you what happened. I mean, I literally shook his. Let me get back to this. I shook his hand. It was kind of weird, and as I let go and I'm bringing my hand, he's like watched my hand the whole way back. That's because we had totally different ideas of what that handshake was. Now, he didn't know me from Adam. I mean, he doesn't. Now, my father-in-law introduced me. He knows Mike. But I'm not really holding that too much against him. And here's the other thing that I've forgotten about the fundraisers. What? I'll just be like, it's a shit show of people trying to seek opportunity, and I just there's so much kiss butt going on. No. No. I don't like that at all. I don't like the suck up type of thing. I don't like the brown nosing. I don't like opportunistic bullshit. I don't like any of that. And that's all these are, right? You go, the candidate goes up there, they say, but all these people come there for trying to give them business cards and say, hey, when you meet President Trump, give him this for me. What? Man, this is part of what's wrong with today. Everything's an opportunity, or you try to push your agenda every which way you can. Now, with politics, that's actually what it's for. But I mean, you're at this fundraiser for this guy who's you're trying to contribute to, and man, just talk to the guy, let him know your concerns. You know, get an idea of what he's about. And if you want to give him a business contact or something, that's fine. But that dude was overloaded with, I mean, just constant people coming up with business cards, with pictures or whatever. I don't know. I don't like that. And so I stayed literally about 30 seconds. Said, hey, Mike, I'm Reggie Payne. Shook his hand. All these other guys were around, started doing all this crap, and I'm like, all right, I'm out. And I left. So, and the other thing too, there was I really was hoping for this opportunity. There was a gentleman that came by there. I actually ain't gonna use gentleman. A sleazy dude who came by and was wearing a mega hat, but had a camera and was there to spy on the Republican. He was from he was a Democrat person there to try to take notes and spy on what was going on. Wearing a mega hat, like, you know. So I don't know how much that goes on both ways, and I'm sure it does. I'm not saying that. If I was running for office, no matter what office that would be, I wouldn't want you to, I would actually be inviting you, who had different opposing views, to everything I had. No kidding. More than likely I wouldn't run as anything but an independent or third-party candidate. I'd just be honest. But let's say if I chose, for some god-awful reason, to be a Republican and I ran for office, I would not, I don't know, I would even probably personally invite like the other guys, like the Democrat dude and the anybody who What's to come? You want to take notes, record it, whatever. Now, if you cause a ruckus and you try to disturb everything, or you have outbursts of nonsense, or you're intentionally there to kind of make things bad, then you're not gonna be welcome. But I don't care if you came there, recorded it, took notes, whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's because my unfamiliarity with like actually running for a political office. But I thought that was just lame, really, like silly. And again, it goes back to like being adults and mature and like having real intellectual conversations and discussions about issues and solutions. Which we don't have. I thought this was going to be a quick video. I was wrong, I guess. Once I got going on that, I suppose I'll let that go. So let me recap and I'll let you go. So Prince Albert and the Savinelli, excellent guys. Give a good firm handshake. Don't be a wimp. And whatever you want to infer about fundraising for a politician. I guess that's it. Until next time, YouTube. Later.